Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to this year's 2022 Dallas Metroplex Bible Teachers Workshop. We'd like to thank you for joining us in our discussion regarding effective use of social media in the church. Um, we're going to start our evening with prayer, and then we'll move in from there. Shall we pray? Our God and our Father, we'd like to thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to come together to see and study how we can be more effective in communicating your word to the masses. We ask that you continue to be with all who are listening and all who will review this video. And we just ask that you would continue to bless us all and guide us, help us to work closer together so that we can grow closer to you. These and many other blessings we ask for Son Jesus Christ's name. We pray and thank you. Amen.
Man.
All right. Well, everyone, my name is Brent Rusk. I'm a web developer and a digital strategist. My daytime job is pretty much helping people figure out how they're going to speak online. That includes like how to effectively use their websites and how to effectively speak to and find their audiences. And I'm a member at the Marcellus Avenue congregation where I work alongside of Brother Akana in the technology ministry and serve as a deacon there. And we're just grateful to be here to have this discussion with you. And we hope and pray that we can continue these discussions throughout the year. This is a lot that we have to go through. Brother Akana?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I am Brother Jack Akana. I'm known as a graphic artist. Been doing this since 2001. Also, photographer. Got into photography back in the 80s. Right now, I'm a member at Marcellus Avenue Church of Christ, where we over the technology ministry, doing pretty much over the live stream. That's one of the things I try to specialize in. That we'll share a lot of information today on what you're going to do, what you can do, and help your organization really be more effective over online and social media.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right in. And to kick it off, Brother Connor's going to start us out. And I'm going to let him take away right now.
So right now, we're going to really share with y'all the effective use of social media in the church. So when you're online, the most important thing when you have a presence online is your branding, your logo. And let's go into explain more what a branding is. What a branding is a term branding refers to as a business or marketing concept that helps people identify a particular company, product, or individual. Same rules that apply for a church organization. So branding is very important when you have a presence online. It speaks to the people, identifies who you are, especially if you have a vision or mission statement. Um, it'll connect, that branding will connect to what y'all believe and what you stand for the foundation of the church and the kingdom of God. So why is branding so important? Branding is important because not only is it what makes a memorable impression on people, but it allows your members and visitors to know what to expect from the church. Like I was saying about if your church has a vision and mission statement, you will affect that throughout your actions and what you do. It is a way of distinguishing yourself from other denominations, clarifying what it is that the church offers that makes you a better choice. So as the Church of Christ, we really stand for the truth. And we really teach and live from the word of the Bible. That's very important. So we're going to go into another part. I'm going to show you some examples, and you tell me what you think when you see these logos, these examples. So the first one, everybody knows, very popular. They sell a lot of burgers, billion sold all over the world. That's pretty much their motto. It's McDonald's. So you know how it is. They got this jingle now, da 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 da. You know, you know. So usually those things are catchy. but with every logo that has the pros and cons. But this is recognized worldwide. The next one, Starbucks. Boy, yeah, it used to be grown folks, but now kids love Starbucks too. So I think every logo and branding has a mark, uh, and speak to every individual in a certain way. Because if I see this and I got the cups and everything, if I see this, I gotta get my white hot chocolate mocha with almond milk. Yeah, can't even start the morning without it. Next, oh, a household statement. Y'all know what this is. Amazon. And I realize, this is very important. Amazon has made a big statement over during the pandemic. Keeping us shopping and keeping things coming to our home. We live and swear by Amazon right now. Marsalis Avenue Church of Christ. Strong leadership, strong members, dedicated. We love Christ. We love God. Um, the great leadership in Brother Ross and our elders and our deacons, and the transitioning into the new elders and deacons that's coming along, like Brother Russ and other deacons that have been chosen to step into leadership. Greenville Avenue, Church of Christ, strong congregation, one of the a lot of people would consider, one of the top congregations in the brotherhood. Started to love Brother Gibbs, Brother Bradshaw, Brother Worthy, Brother Hart, all the elders and deacon there. Brother Gibbs' son, which he's part of the ministerial staff there now. So they have transitioned, they have changed and started doing a lot of stuff different. But the branding of Greenville stands strong, just like Marsalis. So let me share with some things to think about when it comes to branding. Think about this. What are the pros and cons of your branding? You really got to think about it, because there's sometimes when it comes to our church organization, there's a lot of pros we could say about ourselves. But what members out there are saying something different? Or what do the world, what does your branding say to the world? And then I think we can do certain things to get those answers. We can do certain like surveys and stuff like that, like Survey Monkey and different stuff like that. But after that, once you can really recognize what your brand is about, is very, important, being online and social media. So we got to make sure we have that consistency of our branding representing us when we put information and content out on the web. I think that's it, Brother Russ, from that point. Let's see. Okay. So the next point, I think Brother Russ shared with me a great idea of how we can really develop our own media when it comes to our own church organization. So like the importance of developing your own media library. Having your own stock image and stock videos are great resource to show who you are and what you're all about. This is perfect for marketing and showing the vision and goals of the church. Also, it is great to have stock resources of church event, Bible study, food distribution, worship, and members, and happy moments. So these are good when having these stock images, because it shows what the church is all about. It shows the welcoming, it shows the happiness, it shows the mission statement of what we're doing in the community and helping out people. The main goal of what we need to do when it comes to Christ's foundation and Christ of who we are. And now I'm going to go into the importance of stock photography and videography. So stock image and stock videos are a great resource to get great high quality and cheap resources that you can use in your designs and various purposes. They're perfect for marketing and advertising, promotional work, personal or commercial creative projects, publishing, websites, blogs, and much more. Having a stock resource account protects your organization from any copyright infringement. So understand, you gotta have an account when you haven't using stock images. Anything that you take off the Google or any search engine, you are copyright infringement. More than likely, there's a consequences if you use your these images that you download and copy and paste offline into your PowerPoint presentation, and say that you put these documents online in a PDF and try to share with other congregations and members. More than likely, you are in copyright infringement. You will get a statement. You will be in trouble. You will get hit with a cost. There's nothing you can do to take it down. You already used it. So be careful in the future. Keep in mind, it's best to do it right on the front end so it won't cost you on the back end. All right? What is content creation in digital marketing? Is this part is you, Brother Russ?
I can take it from there if you want.
Go ahead.
All right. So, what is content creation and digital marketing? Um, as our as our information shows here, it's the content creation is the process of uh, generating topic ideas that appeal to the need of community, creating written and visual content around those ideas, and making that information accessible as a blog, video, podcast, an infographic, or other format. So when we start looking into like how are we going to put these things together, where's the information going to where's the information going to come from? A lot of times we end up in the situation where people become deer in the headlights, or in the case of a leadership, sometimes it all falls on the minister. But when people are interacting with our congregations, they're interacting with the individual members. So, to as Brother Connor spoke to earlier, when we're talking about um, our our ministry work, when we're talking
Mm.
about our children's ministry, they have issues that are important to them. The sisters have information and it's important to them, and they really should be the ones speaking to it. Because when we're thinking about the whole idea of being social or being effective on social, people identify with like people a lot of times. So that's one of the things I guess we're going to look at in the next few slides, and we'll get right to it.
All right.
Let's see. So the question I have is, how can your congregation use social media effectively? That's a loaded question, but we're going to try and work it out. It all starts with um, making it a part of the plan from day one. So when you're preparing for the year, we generally won't start preparing for the year in the middle of the year. Um, most congregations generally have meetings where the leaders get together and figure out finances and what ministries are going to work for the year, how effective that we've been looking back over the year. And those are things that are all important. Um, we're in a time now, according to um, several of the current research places. There's one called Barna. Barna stated in the, like 2020, 2021 research doc that 84% of the churches' social media presence really begins like at their on their home on their website. Um, Out of those same people, 84% put Facebook as the first line of actual contact outside of the website for social media. And but one of the things Jack and I always talk about with as it pertains to Facebook is that Facebook is one of those places that's like that term we hear about Vegas. What happens in Facebook stays in Facebook unless you're putting some money on the table. Um, So, and it doesn't have to be like a radio station type budget. It could be anywhere from $10 to $100, $10 a day, up to whatever you decide. It just depends on what you're doing there. So, but part of your budget, saying all that to say, part of your budgeting for the year needs to include some type of social media ad spend if you're inside of Facebook. Facebook is your primary place for being online and connecting with people. Yeah, there are over 2 billion people in there, but Facebook is a publicly traded company, and they're trying to make sure that they keep their shareholders happy. So just because you have 4,000 people following you on Facebook, generally only 1 to 5% of those people are going to see anything that you put up, and
Right.
it's going to disappear as fast as you put it up. That's why you need places like YouTube and others, but we'll discuss those as well.
Okay.
Let's see. Um, so, in developing your social media strategy, planning includes develop a social media strategy that aligns with your organization's goals. There's a difference between utilizing marketing tactics and strategy. Sometimes we can get in a habit of kind of doing things off the fly and off the cuff without planning for them. It's more just that's really more kind of what I like to call spray and pray. You're doing a lot of things, and if we get some type of response from it, we're thankful for it. But how much better could it have been if we had actually laid everything out and gotten the right people involved?
Mhm.
And when it's planned, it gives people more of an opportunity to get in. It gives you, as leaders, an opportunity to find those people. Sometimes you have people sitting in your pews who don't do simply because they haven't asked, or they feel like they're going to be like put in a position where they may not be able to succeed. And so um, I know my brother Jack is highly meticulous.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put him in a position where we're trying to do something um, that's going to, I'm not going to call him into helping me with something that I don't feel that I'm going to give him an opportunity to do his best. It's too much extra stress.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Like Brother Russ said, let me say something real quick, Brother Russ. But like Brother Russ said, we need to get to know our members, okay? Because we're sitting right next to the people, and a lot of time we're not really. Some people want that special invite. You need to come and talk to them personally, because you can say it in the pulpit, "Hey, we need volunteers," but until you come up to them and ask them personally to get involved, then that's when they get involved.
all right, there we go. And so on the next slide, I have set up say choose and develop your social media strategy. Choose your leaders. That's sometimes it's not always the most technical person. It may be but it needs to be people who like have a heart for um, being social. Like you wouldn't put um, the person that, as we used to say, I used to hear a lot, the person who looks like they OD'd on lemon juice,
Oh
out to
wow.
out to meet the first person to greet people when they come in the door on the Sunday morning. Um, then you want people who are willing to engage with people like online. They may already actually be doing it just because you know they're there, and um, make sure that um, those people have understand what the mission of the church is. It's not their personal. It's not their personal social media accounts that they're looking after. So they need to treat it with kid gloves. And um, as my daughter would say, whatever you don't want to see Jesus to see better not be out there. So just work on choosing leaders who understand what the mission, what the goals of the congregation is, and they can help to pass that on to the others. Also, choose your platforms. And again, we talked about Facebook, but one of the places that I think we started to see more and more congregations on during the pandemic was YouTube. Um,
Mhm.
Now, YouTube is fantastic because it's the second largest search engine on the planet. It's owned by Google, and whatever you put there, they transcribe. You can create playlists for different series. So, like on the Marcellus site, we have playlists that include information from our children's ministries. We have our Wednesday night Bible classes, um, and thumbnails are graphics become really important when you start talking about
Man, you hitting it
getting
right on
people's
the
attention.
yeah.
And feel free to jump in.
No, no, no. You hitting it right on the head, brother. Graphic is
All
very
right.
important.
So also we have Instagram, which is basically part of Facebook. You have Pinterest. A lot of people don't think about Pinterest, but if you are if you have someone like Brother Connor and my wife, who's also a graphic artist, and you have your thumbnails that you're doing for your videos, why not take those thumbnails, create um, Pinterest boards, and link those Pinterest boards, link those links will carry over to your YouTube channel. Pinterest is also one of the largest
Great,
search engines on the planet. And
great
everything
idea.
that you put on Pinterest is going to show up on Google. So all of those links are just more links to feed people who are searching for information. Um, Choose your
And, gra-
frequency.
and Pinterest is really good for great ideas. Good,
Oh
a
yeah,
really good research platform.
absolutely.
What about
So
TikTok? Us?
TikTok is a place where I have a TikTok account mainly so I can keep up with my keep up and laugh sometimes with my daughter.
Yeah, me too.
It but it's also the place where a lot of the young people go. The main reason we have Instagram in the shape that it's in currently is because um, they tried to purchase, they tried to make a deal basically to purchase another platform, Snapchat. Snapchat said no. So they basically said, fine, we'll copy everything that you do. TikTok came along and said, okay, well, we can do both of you one better. And they're just short, little, quick videos with helpful. You can put helpful information out to help people. There are a lot of religious channels there, and so, but that is an area that you may be able to get your young people, your youth engaged by creating a TikTok channel where they can speak to their peers and put out fun things. You can even create Bible lessons around, and I've done this in the past with the fifth and sixth graders in Marcellus. We created videos that were based around the topic we were studying, and so they had to do their research in order to do their parts in the videos. So it's they're just and technology is not going anywhere. It's best to go ahead and embrace it, and most of us are carrying um, whole media production um, um, department in our back pockets, every day. So, and they'll put it to use. We just have to encourage it.
Right. I
And
totally agree.
we also mentioned consider paid search. Facebook Insights is a good place to start. There's tons of training right on Facebook. If you have a website, what essentially they have a little piece of code that you can put on your website that allows Facebook to see the traffic that's coming through your site. So in doing that, they can create it makes your advertising on the platform cheaper because they can when you purchase ads through them, whether it's $5, $10, $100, doesn't matter what the amount is, they're going to utilize all the data that they have to optimize those ads. The main reason is because they hate for people to not click. They want you to click, so they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they put those ads in front of people that in front of the people that they want to be, that they're supposed to be in front of. So if you're trying to target new families moving into your area, you can do by zip code, by the time, by number of people in the family, by income amounts. Like they cover it all, and
And this is on
it's
this is on Facebook, right?
right. That's Facebook, yeah. And also you want to consider how you will respond. And those are things that you want to talk about in your planning too. So just like we prepare for all types of responses for things, let's say like someone getting ill in the congregation, you want to have responses for things that happen online. You want to have a team if you're going live. You want people who are dedicated to watching for um, uh, people who are not looking to do so well, don't have the best interest, and you want to be able to deal with that. You're mainly looking though for people, to connect with people and let them know. If someone's asking for prayers, for example, in Marsalis, when we do our live streams, we
Mm-hmm.
um, gather that information, and by the time our leadership goes up to pray after the invitation, those people who have responded through our YouTube channel are prayed for, just as if they were there. Their responses are part of those prayers, and that adds that connection, that additional connection that people need. And we can't tell you the number of people offhand who ended up coming to Marsalis during the pandemic, who found us because of the YouTube channel,
Right.
and members' children who got disconnected from the church, found us, and you know, and well, found God and came on back. And so a lot of people were studied with, and um, were reached through this technology. Let's see. So your social media strategy should be basically in three phases. There is an engagement, encouragement, and information. And we've really kind of went through these, but you want to engage. Don't be that guy who just shows up to sell. And those people who used to sell Amway all the time, and every time they showed up, it was something that they were trying to sell to you. And so, um, social media is not that place. It's your opportunity to connect with people. We can't forget that mission that we were placed on in Matthew 28:18-20. He told us to go. We don't have any more excuses. We don't have to spend thousands of dollars to send someone, from the United States to another part of the world. We can reach anywhere. We just have to learn just a little bit to help us in accomplishing that mission to the best of our abilities. Encouragement. Your post should be encouraging. We should look for opportunities to encourage people. Why not do something like having a day where you put up a post that asks people to list things that they want the church to pray for, whether they're
Okay.
members of the congregation or not, and then make that a live event to have people come on and actually uh, pray for those subjects and the subject matter that people put out. And because they've responded to that post, you can actually push an advertising out for them again, $5 or $10. It's going Facebook is going to make sure that gets in front of those people. Not
Right.
only that, they have what they call lookalike audiences, which is basically a profile of the type of people who interact with your information. And so they can give you thousands more than you may have only had 100 people respond, but they can give you thousands more. Um, then thousands more, they can add thousands more to that. I said thousands a whole lot of times. So,
But same like Brother Russ said about prayer, but you can do the same thing as devotion. It's just for the encouragement because people not only do it on Wednesday and Sunday, you can do it on other days. Just throw out a devotion out there because people need it just to make it through day by day just to make it through the week. So that, like you said, you can do just different things, creative things to encourage people throughout the week.
All right. And inform. In, the inform part is also where you're posting, and we generally don't have a problem with doing this. Is posting about events that are going on.
Right.
You also want, this is the area where the advertisement piece really ties in. Advertisement is and the ad spend be is going to be a big part of how you're going to inform. Remember, if you're in that 84% that primarily only use Facebook, um, in order to reach your community, you're going to have to put a few dollars, where you're clicking. So just keep that in mind as you go through that particular part.
All right.
All right. And so I know we've talked a lot about all of these things, about being how to get started and what's effective. The golden rule online is to be social on social. That
Hmm.
means that don't just show up and talk to or talk through. You want to talk. You want to have a conversation with the people. As part of that, your team, maybe have people who are looking to engage with people, looking for those opportunities to reach out to people or drop a line saying, "Hey, we're just know we're praying for you," or in someone is frequent insider or commenting, just jump in on a conversation. Somebody's trying to find a part for their car and they're on the page talking about it. Hey, it doesn't hurt to respond. You never know what connection God is going to use to get to that person. Like, so we just have to do our part to either plant a seed, water, and wait and let God give the increase. Let's see here. And this was something that I kind of thought about, I'll throw in here. So, and this pertains to the way that we really look at social media. So remember, you have 168 hours per week, 24. We normally hear 24/7, but let's break it down a little bit further. 168 hours. That's about 10,080 minutes. So 10,800 minutes, excuse me. So statistics show that most churches primarily present on social media um, for an average of 1 to 2.5 hours per week. And I'm pretty sure you can guess, if you think about it, what those hours are for your congregation. I'm gonna say probably Sunday, maybe. So,
Mhm.
and Wednesday. There you go. That's probably where that other hour came from, out of that 2.5. So, with that, think about how many opportunities are left if you allow for your latest ministry to speak to issues or things that they're doing. In Marseilles, we have a pillar ministry, um, and they do a lot of wonderful things with local hospitals. A lot of our several members work as chaplains, highlighting the things that are going on. These things also allow people to get to know your congregation before they even come through the door. They're going to see that person and connect with them. They're going to um, get to see how you work. And the more they know, the more likely they are to actually darken the doorsteps. So
Wow.
just think about how many more hours, minutes can you add into being social on social out of that 168 hours per week.
Yeah. Very important, guys.
So create content from within. These are things we've pretty much been talking about. Involve your ministries in presenting the answers to many of the questions asked online. God uses search to take care of the rest. One of the things that you will notice is that there are um, people search by entering symptoms or
Hmm.
questions into search. So if you think that I know, how can I put this? I know there are a whole bunch of people that thought they had contracted Um, the disease that we've been dealing with during this pandemic, and every symptom under the sun, we were typing into Google trying to figure out if, okay, do I have it? Is it there? Do I have the flu? How can I fix the pipe under the sink? Let's see, leaky faucet, backing up faucet, backing up drain, um, leaky roof. If we're not doing that, it's like it's a how to do, how to sew, like how to draw, um, how to study your Bible better. One of the largest searches in 1 year during the workshop, we did a survey like live and live within the class. It was a simple question. Um, the question was, is baptism essential for salvation? So I had already pre done my homework, so I already knew the answer. But just to let you know, when I asked the class how many of our congregations had that information on the website, there wasn't, of course, one that had a website that didn't raise their hand. When we hit Google, not a one showed up because the information had gotten buried, because it's generally on a page and not really talked about anymore. It's in our statements about who we are and what we do. But the
Mm,
first time you put that up, Google shows that information up here when they come to your site. The next time they come, nothing's changed, it's here. The next time they come back, nothing else has changed on your site, it's here. The next time they come back, you just get, and finally you're just off of page one, you're off, and you're not in the thought process. But those videos that people put up on YouTube years ago, about why they're not members of the body, or why they left, or why they don't believe in, those are the videos that end up getting put up because they've got a lot of activity on them, even though
mm,
they were put up 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And the only way that we're going to combat a lot of this is by becoming more media savvy, by not just only putting up a video but on YouTube, but filling in the description, by using some of the tools we'll talk about through here, to create thumbnails that get people's attention, and you don't have to have seasoned professionals at your congregation. We've got tools that we can go over with you that will help, so you don't have to worry about that part as much. It'll You'll still look good, and it'll should be enough to catch some of the attention.
right,
In
right,
Marsalis, we are only about 400-ish members on the
right.
books, I believe, but online, through our YouTube channel, we're roughly about 1,200 to 1,300, um, viewers there, and on
Oh,
average,
yeah,
hmm,
strong.
we get about 3,300 impressions per week, which turns into about 20,000 or so, um, per month, about roughly 15 to 20,000 views or so, like on our content. So you don't have to be the biggest place in the area or in your community. You just have to be willing to do a little bit of work. Um, Use
Mm,
social platforms like Facebook to join the conversation and search to be a helper, and a solutions provider. These are Google, YouTube, Pinterest. These are places that we've already kind of talked about. And if you want more information past what we're talking about today, just feel free to reach out to us through the contact form on the website at dallasmbtw.org. And we really wanted to start pushing the narrative to help congregations learn to be more visible, and improving our social media presence is part of that. So we're just about coming to the end of our journey, but I'm going to ask Brother Connor to kind of jump in and talk about some of the resources that we have here, and then we will bid you farewell.
yeah. So the resources that you have online that's available to you, um, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. Like Canva. Canva is very popular right now, especially if you want to really create a lot of stuff. They have things and ideas that help you create different kind of graphics, stock photos, um, to help you get your message across on these social media platforms, or help you create your thumbnails for YouTube. Like Brother Worth says, I mean, just to draw the attention, you have to be very creative because you could just say your topic could be, minister fighting in the church. But when you get into the message, when they click on it, it's the minister really talking about us fighting the devil. It could be, fighting um, the issues and storms that we go through daily. But that topic alone, the minister fighting in the church, is going to make you want to click on it and go into it. So you got Adobe Express, Affinity, Cretopity. Is it Cretopity? How you say it? Pronounce it, Brother Russ?
Create looks like Creative.
Creative and Photopea. Most of these are stock images uh, companies, and it's it's really cool. They have a lot of cool stuff, but uh, just go on and see what it's all about. You'll see a lot of stuff that'll get you going, get the wheels turning. Oh, let me go back. Hold on, let me go back. I think I'm back too far. Be funky, be funky. I can't remember what that was. What was that platform more about, Bill Russ?
Now that one I have not been on.
Let me see if I can see it real quick. Be Funky, I think it's another creative platform, um, like Canva. Um, Pixar, I think that's more of a stock image company, and I think that's free too. So you get on these, you get a lot of stock. Um, Once you sign up, I think this account is free. So you want to get you an account with a stock image company. Like I said before, it protects you with copyright infringement. And if you really like the brotherhood, we use PowerPoint so much in a lot of our presentations or of our sermons, and we use a lot of images. So we have to really be careful of the images that we use in our PowerPoint, especially now we're displaying this stuff on YouTube and in social media platforms, even PDF documents that we allow people to download. So we really have to be careful. Shutterstock, real good, another company that I have an account with. Envato Elements. Oh, love Envato Elements. They have a lot of resources, especially if you're a graphic artist, videographer. They got music. If you into production, music production, a lot of great resources on Envato Elements. Um, you know more about free? Yeah, I did free picks. That's one of the ones I came up with. And that's another. You go there, you can download stock images for free. Just, I think this one I found, and I didn't have to make an account. Use a couple of images, download, came straight to my computer, and use it up. That was pretty cool account. And you got Pixels. Can you talk more on Pixels, Brother Russ? Is that one of yours?
Yeah, Pixels is another account where you can like, download images. They have believe they have a relationship now with iStock Photo, but the vast majority of the images are free. They're photographers like yourself or or videographers like myself, and they are able to upload images. People they put them up under Creative Commons license, so you can use them in your work, and they just want to thank you or tweet on social media, or you don't have to. But they're all there for free use without having to worry about someone coming back on you for getting that little letter with a picture of the image that you use saying you owe us $1,000.
Yeah,
If you're lucky.
real quick.
So yeah, staying away from those. These are sites. One of the other things, Jack, I would say about Canva, like the Canva with the free account, you got you can build thumbnails there. They're going to give you proper sizes for your images on Facebook and your headers for YouTube. Your proper sizes for your post on Facebook. Did I say proper sizes? Yeah,
Yeah,
proper sizes. So
yeah. They
you,
get you all of the right dimensions, what you need. Also,
Yeah,
I think it helped you cut out images out of the background too.
absolutely. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
have the professional account, you can take any picture that you've taken and just one click, and it will it will professionally cut out the people in those pictures, and um, so you have it that you can now use that on to create your images and graphics. If you're Brother Kahneman has mentioned the PowerPoint presentations. They have a lot of presentations there that you can just start with, click, change the anything, colors, pictures, graphics. And one other thing about Canva and the pictures, and they're they're also connected to a lot of the stock photo libraries as well. So whereas you would have to go and pay for like a monthly subscription for like images that you might find like in Adobe, or you may find like in iStock Photo or some of the others paid ones. Um, if you're using a free account on Canva, pictures are like $1, and you can just use that picture, in whatever. If if you have the paid account, then it's just unlimited, but you've got access to all of these photos that you wouldn't have had everywhere else. You're going to see them; they're going to show up, and you're going to click, and you're going to have to pay an
right.
additional $10 or $15
But
per picture.
also on top of it, it's the best time that you can have your own media library because it'll help you out with Canva too. Because you won't have to pay anything. So if you're doing like a food distribution, use your own images. You
Hmm.
know, if you already did a food distribution on your church campus, just take pictures with it from your phone or whatever, and realize your phone is a very resourceful tool when documenting your events and really putting your media or your marketing materials together on Canva. It'll be helpful so much to save you a lot of money if you use your own images in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to think if there was what else we had in there. There were
Yeah,
some.
think.
Oh, whoops.
Oh
No, you got it.
no, you won't think if it. You showed me that one. That was amazing. Once I learned that, but you can speak more on think if it. That was.
Yeah, Thinkific is more like if you want to create online, if you want to create classes to help your congregation um, spread the word. A lot of times people um, aren't saying no to evangelism. They're saying I don't know, and sometimes this I don't know as an I don't know if I have enough confidence. But if you have classes like you created around baptism, there's a video, and then under that there's like a little questionnaire, and that those members can take that class if there was someone they were studying with, and say, hey, let's go through this together. Any questions you have, you can ask inside of here. They sign up for the class. Now you got a list of people who, you know, are not members but were willing to study in what's really a non-threatening way. Plus,
Hmm.
they just gave you their email address, so um, you can, as part of the sign up, you're asking them for permission to send like information about different events. If they have family, if they're family or they're single, they'll give you a lot of information if they're signing up for the classes. But you can use Thinkific as one of those like a learning management system. You completely control it, and you can build your own online university for your congregation. And several people, I think, that attended the workshop of like heard me talk about um, the benefits of Canva and a lot of the things that you can do. Canva and some other learning management software that's out there. Um, but also, even inside of Facebook, if you're using Facebook groups, um, there's a learning management system inside of Facebook groups. So, and in there, you can set like a private group for your teams. You can have classes that are associated with that as well. So, there's a lot of tools that are available out there. We just have to seek them out, and if we don't know, hey, bring them to the throw them in the contact form. Both of us are gearheads, so it's like
Man.
don't mind researching tools, and if it's helpful, we can let a whole lot of other people know about it as well. Let's see here.
I think the next one is MailChimp. That's more of a newsletter database kind of platform, um, which is very important. MailChimp, creating newsletters, but the database is very important. If you can collect email and personal information, you can target the audience that you want to target with the information that you want to shoot out about your church organization. So, very important, very informative on what's going on at the church, especially if you got youth or children events going on. So that really helps target certain mothers and families that's looking for a new church home. So uh, collecting that email database is very important to really getting your information to the certain target audience that you want to reach.
Yeah, and I think you just hit the nail on the head too with the targeting piece. So systems like Mailchimp will allow for you to definitely segment. So you can, if a person signs up under a blog post that had to do with parenting, the person can sign up for information on parenting. So, and you can create a series of emails that go out that are automatically dripped essentially to the person over 1, 2, 3 weeks or whatnot, 4 weeks that help them with that. Along with
Right.
those emails or in those are invitations to what we like to call in marketing call to actions, encouraging the person to take action on something, come visit, you know, come to this event. Uh, do you have any questions, or is there anything that we can pray for you about? Or is there any information that you would like to know that you don't see here? Reach out to us. So use those opportunities to reach out.
Plus, it's a database where you can send out a happy birthday or happy anniversary to the people, and
Absolutely.
especially when it's personalized from your church organization.
There we go. So, outside of those, we have another group, resources for content research. Google Trends. You can, I, I could spend an evening just talking about a lot of these tools. Google Trends, vidIQ, TubeBuddy. Um, these fall into a category. I'll start with Google Trends. It is essentially a tool that will help you to find out essentially what's going on. You can look for the questions that are being asked like by zip code. So if you want to
Hmm.
know what the topics of conversation are in 75216, then though you can find that information out. If you want to find out what the top religious topics are in that zip code, you can do that. There's just all kinds of other systems, vidIQ and YouTube on TubeBuddy are systems that you can attach to your YouTube account, and it will not only it'll look at titles that you're putting on your videos and match those up with titles that are with other videos. It'll kind of give you a ranking system to figure out where you are. It'll also make suggestions to you about where those
Wow.
titles are. And uh, while we're on that street, and as my minister says, I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. with our When we get to uh, with our titles, we spend a lot of time talking about like people search for symptoms. So the our sermon topics, the topics that are on our sermons, is like um, if we said treading water, members of the body are pretty much going to have a good idea about what passage that's coming from or where or what they could involve. But the person that's looking for the top of the searching online for, they just typed into Google, um, is is faith optional, or what is faith, or can I how do I improve my faith? They will miss, if that sermon covered that, I'm gonna miss it 100% because um, the title doesn't match the search. So sometimes there may be opportunities on old content on our YouTube channels. Um, the opportunities are there for us to retitle some of those if they're sermons, or if they're like brief snippets that we put out and they're really not getting any traction, then we may try changing that title to better match what's somebody's already searching for online. So if
Mm-hmm.
is baptism essential to salvation, but the sermon topic uh, was get in the water, it, it was talking about it, but you may miss that person because the title for search, and for search again, to reach that question or that symptom that the person was talking about, you may have to make some slight adjustments in there. And you'll know right off the bat, generally, like if it's working or not. They start to show up, the response, the engagement online. Google starts to send you more views from their main page to your channels page, and it just shows up in the analytics there. And there are a
That's
lot of
cool.
free tools in the analytics there.
That's a great idea.
Let's see
Great.
here. So I
That is.
think think we are about at the end. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is bring us back up. So, Brother Connor, any closing thoughts or words for our fair people?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot we could talk about. We go on and on. Me and Brother Russ just really just scale the waters on everything. But we could talk on this on certain subjects all day. But the most important thing is just know what you want to, like you said, plan. Know what you want to do. Plan everything out. Make sure you got your people in order on your leadership team when it comes to um, trying to tackle this social media thing. And it's going to be new to some people, and some people don't want to touch it. But find the people that will. And it's not hard. It's really pretty much just like your meetings, but just putting the thought ideas and creating content just to keep people engaged is very important. Especially live streaming. Just live streaming, because when one of my thoughts is when you live stream, a lot of people gonna go straight to Facebook. I wouldn't do that. I really wouldn't do that. My choice would be YouTube. YouTube is one of my favorite platforms, and Instagram, that I really care to use when it comes to live streaming or finding any kind of information, because YouTube, the way they have it, it's easy to find the videos. Where Facebook, like Brother Russ said, it might hit several people, especially if you're not buying the ads and really trying to utilize Facebook effectively. But I would use YouTube for my platform when I'm live streaming.
All right.
What about you, Brother
And
Russ?
well, I would add to that. Don't worry about the tech so much. I know there are a lot of people who think, and I'm trust me, I'm one of them. I I want the best that I can get. Most technology is for me is going to be bleeding edge. I have a rotation that I do with my equipment through eBay, so that, and mostly because I'm trying to stay ahead so that I can keep other people from making mistakes. But I'm a big researcher. My background was analytics, and I just took it from my former profession in the stock markets into development, into web, into strategy. But for years, it's like just using this phone. you're able to create videos, video
Mm-hmm.
content, audio content, um, help congregations start podcasts like just off of a phone. And if the production is done right, nobody can tell the difference between what you did on your phone versus what you did. Whether you had like a, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 camera, it just depends on the person handling the equipment. Um, there are shows that are on television now that were created just off of iPhones, and movies that have won awards, and Samsung as well. So even though I'm biased to Apple because of the technology and the hardware and the software that they give you. Um, I would also say, if you notice, Brother Connor's wearing a lapel mic. I was
Mm-hmm.
fighting, not putting one on, but just wanted to show whatever the sound you listen to is coming through the earbuds I'm wearing. You'll see them pop up on CNN. They're good enough to handle the sound. They direct it, but if you're in the wind, they're not gonna they're not gonna work for you. You need something that's covered.
Mm-hmm.
We wind screens and those types of things if you're recording outside. So that's when like what Brother Connor is wearing it would be 100% better because it's not gonna. Last thing you want to do is listen to a video online where the wind is pounding on the microphone, and that fatigue will cause people to click and go away. So just little things to teach to go over, but those are again things that we can talk about in future classes. If you're interested, reach out to us through the contact page, and we hope to be putting more of this content together, like on the website for Dallas and BTW as well. So, um, and again, remember to be social on social.
Mm-hmm.
Utilize those channels more for two-way communication. Don't let your website and your social media channels become brochures, because just like those value packs that we get in the email and get in the mailbox, and those flyers that people put on the door, a lot of times they don't make it any further than that. Oh, here's another one that can be done, like with youth ministries. We didn't have it on there, but QR codes, and you can make QR codes through your Canva account. Um, if you have an event going on, or don't send all of the information, don't send all the visitors to your homepage on your website. Every page is a landing page. So if you have a page for your youth ministry or a specific event, why not create a page on the site to support that event? Put a QR code on the shirts, print it on the shirts, along with whatever creative creative design that you want, and have the QR code on their front, maybe on the back. You're standing in line, someone clicks that, they're going to go and see it and have a message there. Like, okay, if you're seeing this, you just came in contact with one of our members. We'd like to thank you, for this, that, and the other. So, and then that information shows up in the analytics for your website. It shows up
Right. Right.
in there for your channels. And again, Facebook is one of those know all type of companies. So you can even use that to target if you're still doing door knocking or you're going to put out flyers. You can find out even down to the zip code where those clicks were coming from. And so then you can take the online portion of what you're doing and combine it with what you're doing in the physical in the physical world. But the data will help you better target where those eyeballs, where those views are coming from, and then
Right.
you can put troops on the ground to help try to reach those people. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
And one thing I want to say about QR codes too, it will really help you when you're designing your marketing flyers, not to uh, make your flyers so busy. So control your content and put it on the website, and lessen your content on your flyers and put the QR code there so they can go there to get more information. Because a lot of these flyers now got too much information. And understand, people do not read. Period. Do not read. So stop putting all the information on the flyers and send them somewhere else so they can get the information and attain. Because 9 out of 10 people look at the flyer, they still gonna call the church for the information, and they holding all the information in their hands.
Mm.
That's my thought.
Yeah, that's an excellent one. Well, once again, we like to thank everyone who's taking the time out to watch and listen in, and we hope and pray that there are some snippets or nuggets that you can take back and implement with your personal ministry and with your ministries at your congregations. And we hope that if you have any questions, again, reach out to us. We're more than happy to answer. And just like we say with our when we're dealing with our Bible, if we don't have it, we'll go find it and get it to you. So
Well,
again, thank you for joining us. And on behalf
guys,
of the Metroplex Bible Teachers Workshop, we pray that you have a blessed and a blessed afternoon, evening, or morning, whenever you're watching, and that you would be successful in your and effective in your social media strategies. Thank you.